Good evening and welcome to the news at 8. I'm Sarah Jacob. The top story right now. 7 people, 4 foreign returnees and 3 of their close contacts in Maharashtra have today been found positive with the new COVID variant Omicron, taking the total number of such cases in all of India right now to 12. The first 2 cases of Omicron in India were reported from Karnataka earlier this week. The other 2 cases were detected from Gujarat and Maharashtra. With 7 new cases, the Omicron cases in Maharashtra have risen to 8. Let's go across to Saurav Gupta for more on the situation in Maharashtra right now. Saurav, what do we know about these passengers who have now been identified and confirmed to have this new variant strain?
Well, the Maharashtra government has put out a detailed press note on this, and they've said that 7 more Omicron variants in Maharashtra, 6 in Pimpri, Chinchwad and municipal area, and 1 in Pune. Now, according to the press note, a 44-year-old woman who had come from Lagos in Nigeria on the 24th of November 2021 to meet her brother in Pimpri, Chinchwad municipal area, and 2 daughters accompanying her. The brother and his 2 daughters, a total of 6 people, have tested positive for the Omicron variant. As per the report of the National Institute of Virology in Pune, which is, of course, one of the centers that is doing genome sequencing in Maharashtra. Now, they also say that the press also says that additionally, a 47-year-old man from Pune has also tested positive for the Omicron variant, as reported by the National Chemical Laboratory, which means that the total number of Omicron positive patients in the state are now 8. Yesterday, of course, we had 1 in Kalyan, Dombivli. And now, of course, all these people have 3 out of the 6 have come from Nigeria, and the rest are their close contacts, is what the press note says. And the 44-year-old woman who came from Nigeria along with the daughters is a Nigerian citizen of Indian origin, and her daughters, 12 and 18 years old, have all come to meet their brother, and that is obviously it is being presumed that they are the ones who given the brother and this thing. 13 contacts of these women were traced and tested, and the Omicron variant has been found in 3 contacts who have tested positive. So the Nigerian woman has mild symptoms, and the other 5 have no symptoms at all, which means that there's either mild or no symptoms, and all these patients are being treated at the Jiramata Hospital in Pimpri Chinchwad and are stable. And the patient in Pune, of course, is also being treated. He was found COVID positive, but he has, of course, taken both doses of the Covishield vaccine, and he's completely stable without any symptoms. He, of course, had visited Finland between 18th and 25th November, according to the press note. And of course, the press note goes on to share the number of people who are being tested and all of that. So, if you've taken the vaccine, the thing is that you will be safe and you will not require hospital care. Because what governments are worried about is if this variant becomes a variant where people require hospital care, that is when there is a crisis. Otherwise, if you've taken the vaccine and you don't require hospital care and you can heal at home, then, of course, there's nothing to worry, and which is why the government is being so careful in terms of this tracing, testing, and contact tracing. So that is, of course, the latest updates as far as the Omicron variant in Maharashtra is concerned.
All right, Saurav, let's hope it stays that way. Thanks for that. Meanwhile, the national capital reported its first case of the COVID variant Omicron on Sunday. The Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain said the patient had returned from Tanzania. His travel history is being collated. His contacts are being traced, the Delhi government says.
Cases of the coronavirus variant Omicron rising in India, with the capital reporting its first. A 37-year-old Indian who arrived in Delhi from Tanzania tested positive for Omicron. He is now admitted at the LNJP hospital.
अभी तक 17 पॉजिटिव पेशेंट्स एलएनजेपी में भर्ती किए गए हैं। 17 जो पॉजिटिव हैं उसमें जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग कराई गई, तो अभी तक 12 लोगों की जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग की हो चुकी है, और एक उसमें से जो है ओमिक्रॉन का पेशेंट लगता है कि जो तंजानिया से आया है।
पहला मामला हमें मिला है, ये 2 तारीख को आया है और ये तंजानिया से ट्रैवल करके अंतर्राष्ट्रीय हवाई अड्डा दिल्ली से आया था हमारे पास लोकनायक में, और अभी हमारे यहाँ भर्ती है। इसको हल्के सिम्टम्स हैं, हल्का बुखार था, थोड़ा सा गले में दर्द था, थोड़ा वीकनेस इसको महसूस कर रहा था।
Meanwhile, international passengers complain of being greeted at the airport on landing in India with long waiting hours and confusion and chaos.
So I paid 3,500 for a rapid test in which the result was supposed to come after 1 or 2 hours. I got the test done and after that nothing. They didn't care. We just left.
बहुत ज़्यादा हार्मफुल है अंदर है ना, क्योंकि ना कोई सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का प्रोटोकॉल फॉलो कर रहा है और मास्क भी लगाया जा रहा है तो यहाँ तक लगाया जा रहा है जिसका कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है. हम इतनी दूर से बच के आ रहे हैं बट यहाँ पे अगर हमारे को कोविड हो गया बाय चांस तो हमारे लिए कितना प्रॉब्लम वाली बात है ये.
Delhi has reported its first Omicron positive case today, adding to the overall India tally of 5 Omicron cases reported so far. While international passengers are being strictly monitored, authorities in place need to act fast to ensure that this new variant does not spread. In Delhi, with Sanjay Kaushik, Shunakshi Chakravarti for NDTV.
And we're also keeping an eye on the number of COVID cases on the rise across India now. 69 people in a school in Chikmagaluru in Karnataka, including 59 students, have been found to be infected with the coronavirus. This includes 59 students, 2 staff members and 8 staff members, I beg your pardon, and 2 parents of staff members or relatives of the staff have tested positive. And the other big story of the day, 13 villagers, that is civilians and a soldier, have been killed at an Indo-Myanmar border district in Nagaland as a counter-insurgency operation went awry. In a statement, the army says that the incident and its aftermath is deeply regretted. The Union Home Minister Amit Shah says that a special investigating team will probe the matter.
The bodies of 8 villagers in the back of their pickup truck that was wrongly targeted by the army in Nagaland's Mon district yesterday. The army unit which was deployed was on the lookout for militants and had set up an ambush in the Oting village. Confronted by hundreds of villagers after no weapons were found in the pickup, the army soldiers were attacked and their vehicles were set on fire. They opened fire in self-defense. At least 5 more villagers and an army Jawan died as the situation went out of control. Injured Jawans were taken to hospital. 24 hours later, there is no let-up to the tension in the area. An Assam Rifles camp was attacked by angry people in Mon town. This office was also attacked, a man in a car managing to escape with his life. In a statement, the army has said, the incident and its aftermath is deeply regretted. The cause of the unfortunate loss of lives is being investigated at the highest level and appropriate action will be taken as per the course of law.
Even if such information is there, the security forces should have been meticulously examined before they acted upon the civilian in that manner.
Home Minister Amit Shah has reacted, stating, anguished over an unfortunate incident in Nagaland's Oting in Mon. I express my deepest condolences to the families of those who have lost their lives. But the situation is still volatile. SMS and 3G services have been shut down across the Mon district. A high-level special investigation team is set to investigate the incident, with senior army, police and home ministry officials scheduled to meet in Kohima tomorrow. With Ratndeep Chaudhary, Bureau Report, NDTV.
And let's move on to other news from around the country. Putting an end to speculations, the Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav and the Rashtriya Lok Dal or RLD leader Jayant Chaudhary announced an alliance ahead of the Uttar Pradesh assembly polls next year as they look to challenge the ruling BJP in UP. We spoke with the RLD chief Jayant Chaudhary, who says it was the farmers' protests and the central government's response to them that was a tipping point for his party.
जयंत चौधरी हम सब जानते हैं राष्ट्रीय लोकदल के प्रमुख हैं, चौधरी चरण सिंह के पोते हैं, पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री और अजीत सिंह जी के बेटे हैं। सर, इतनी बड़ी लेगेसी, अब आपकी और जय और अखिलेश जी का गठबंधन हो गया है। आप लोगों ने पिक्चर्स भी ट्वीट की कुछ दिन पहले, और अब सब कुछ ठीक है, आप लोगों की दोस्ती है, गठबंधन हो गया है, हम लोग मान के चल रहे हैं बिल्कुल।
पहले भी सब ठीक था, और एक रिस्पेक्ट, म्यूचुअल रिस्पेक्ट जो होना चाहिए, जो रिश्ते में मुझे लगता है पहला स्तंभ होता है, वो पहले भी था, आज भी है, कल भी रहेगा। और लंबे समय हमने फैसला लिया है कि जिस रास्ते हम चलते आए, राह तो एक ही थी, शुरुआत का पॉइंट भी, स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट भी एक ही था, विचारधारा में भी मेल था, तो इसलिए जब एक ही रास्ते पे चलना है तो साथ चलना चाहिए। इसलिए जो कुछ भी मैंने और अखिलेश जी ने बैठ के हम लोगों ने जो चर्चाएं की हैं, जो हमने विजन और रोड प्लान उत्तर प्रदेश के लिए तैयार किया है, हम चाहेंगे कि अपने क्षेत्र में मेरठ क्रांति की धरती है, चौधरी चरण सिंह जी की कर्मभूमि है, किसान आंदोलन की जननी है, उस क्षेत्र में जाकर अपने लोगों के बीच हम उस बात को रखेंगे।
आपको लगता है कि बीजेपी को तीनों कृषि कानून रद्द करने के बाद, खासकर पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश में, और ये कहा जा रहा है कि चुनाव एक बहुत बड़ा कारण है, पंजाब और उत्तर प्रदेश में चुनाव है, वहां बीजेपी ग्राउंड लूज कर रही थी, इसलिए तीनों कृषि कानून रद्द किए, आपको लगता है कि तीनों कृषि कानून रद्द होने के बाद बीजेपी को पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश जो आपका टर्फ है वहां पे फायदा होगा?
मैं आपसे सवाल पूछता हूं, श्रोताओं से पूछना चाहता हूं। आज मैं आपको एक विष दूंगा, आपको पीना पड़ेगा, 1 साल बाद मैं आपको उसका एंटीडोट दे दूंगा। क्या आप मेरी बढ़ाई करोगे, वाह भाई करोगे, धन्यवाद जयंत बोलोगे? कोई नहीं बोल रहा। यही हुआ है किसानों के साथ, 1 साल बर्बाद कर दिया। आर्थिक गतिविधियां, जो लोग दोष देते हैं कि किसानों ने सड़क को जाम किया, किसानों ने सड़कों को जाम नहीं किया। अगर आर्थिक गतिविधियों पर प्रभाव पड़ा है, ग्रामीण क्षेत्र में ये लोग रहते, कहीं ना कहीं उनकी पूंजी वहां लगती, उनके एफर्ट वहां लगते, खेत में मेहनत करते, हर चीज पे प्रभाव पड़ा है, तो नुकसान का किसका, घाटा किसका है? किसान के परिवारों का हुआ। जो लोग मारे गए, जो शहीद हुए, अब उनकी क्षति तो कभी उसकी पूर्ति हो ही नहीं सकती, तो इसका तो जवाब जनता लेगी।
And as election campaigning in Punjab heats up, the AAP's Bhagwat Mann has now alleged that the BJP is trying to poach leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party. He claims that even he was invited to join the BJP and was offered a cabinet berth. The BJP has rejected these allegations, and they're saying that Mann is only trying to increase his importance within his own party. This, of course, comes amidst reports that Mr. Mann was upset with his party for not announcing him as a chief ministerial candidate.
बीजेपी ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੇ ਨੇਤਾ ਦਾ ਫੋਨ ਆਇਆ, ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੇ ਨੇਤਾ ਦਾ। ਉਹਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਮਾਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੋ ਬੀਜੇਪੀ ਚ ਆਉਣ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਲਾਓਗੇ, ਕੀ ਰਕਮ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਦੱਸ ਦਿਓ, ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ क्योंकि तुसी MP हो और तुसी इकलौते MP हो, इस करके तुहाडे ते एंटी डिफेक्शन लॉ लागू नहीं हुंदा। जे तुसी बीजेपी च आ जाओ, असीं तुहानूं कैबिनेट मंत्री बना दांगे।
मैं मान साहब नूं चुनौती दिना है कि उस नेता का नाम सार्वजनिक करन, जनता के सामने लैके आउण, रिकॉर्ड रखन, ताकि सच्चाई पता चले। लेकिन वो ऐसा करनगे नहीं, क्योंकि आम आदमी पार्टी की फितरत है झूठे आरोप लगाना और फिर दौड़ जाना। दरअसल बयान मान साहब की अपनी खिज है, पार्टी च अपनी इंपोर्टेंस ਵਧਾਉਣ ਦੀ एक तरह ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ योजना है, क्योंकि पार्टी ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ना तो मुख्यमंत्री का चेहरा बना रही है, ना ही ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ कोई इंपोर्टेंस मिल रही है।
Welcome back. Now, big news coming in from Jaipur, where 9 people from a family in Jaipur who had tested positive for COVID are now confirmed to have the Omicron variant. The genome reports, genome sequencing reports are finally out, and it is now confirmed that 9 of these members of this family have tested positive for the Omicron variant. That is the new variant identified by the WHO that was first reported in South Africa. And when a patient tests positive for COVID, they then require to undergo a genome sequencing test, which could take up to 3 or 4 days. And once those reports are out, only then do we know if it is a case of the Omicron variant or of the earlier variants like the Delta variants that we were reporting in India. So that now brings the total number of cases of the Omicron virus or the Omicron variant in India to 21. Just about 2 hours ago, 7 new Omicron cases were detected in Maharashtra. A woman and her 2 daughters who travelled from Nigeria, her brother and his 2 daughters in Pimpri Chintwad, 1 male who travelled from Finland. So we now have 8 cases reported in Maharashtra in all, and 21 cases in all of India. This includes the national capital reporting its first case of the Omicron variant. What is it? More breaking news coming in on this. The National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization is set to meet tomorrow to discuss the administration of the additional dose of COVID to the immunocompromised individuals. My colleague Parimal is monitoring this story. Parimal, of course, there's a sense of urgency to this. That decision was expected this week. And given the fact that we're seeing the number of cases now doubling almost within hours in India, only to be expected that the advisory group should meet and act soon and take a call on this matter.
बिल्कुल, ये पहले से भी बात थी और इसको लेकर ये भी बताया गया था बहुत पहले, जिस दिन 100 करोड़ डोजेज पूरे हुए थे उस समय जब हमने इंटरव्यू किया था कि बहुत सारे लोग इम्यूनो कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड हैं जिनको दोनों डोजेज लग चुके हैं और खासतौर पे ऐसे लोग जो हैं ज्यादा उम्र के लोग इसमें हैं शामिल और उसका एक डेटाबेस बनाया जा रहा है जिनमें बूस्टर डोज या एडिशनल डोज कहें उस डोज को देने की तैयारी पहले से ही हो रही थी। और बैठक में क्योंकि नेशनल टेक्निकल एडवाइजरी ग्रुप को ही ये फैसला लेना है कि कैसे इसको अमल में लाएंगे और कैसे किन किन लोगों को दिया जाएगा, तो कुछ डेटाबेस उन्होंने हो सकता है तैयार किया हो, इसी को लेकर एक बैठक है। अभी फिलहाल जो समय बताया गया 11 बजे का वक्त बताया गया जिसमें ये जो एनटीआई की जो साइंटिस्ट हैं वो एक साथ मिलेंगे और उस पर एक चर्चा होगी और ये चर्चा जरूरी भी है क्योंकि अगर कोई इम्यूनो कॉम्प्रोमाइज
also the advisory group is also supposed to take a call on whether there will be vaccinations for children.
मुमकिन है क्योंकि एनटीआई को ये फैसला लेना है कि वैक्सीनेशन कैसे बच्चों में शुरू की जाए, लेकिन पहले से भी ये बात बताई गई है कि बच्चों में जब वैक्सीनेशन की शुरुआत करेंगे तो उसमें पहले वो बच्चे होंगे जो कोमॉर्बिडिटी वाले बच्चे होंगे जिनको पहले से कोई बीमारी होगी, तो उसकी भी एक सूची हो सकता है कि लिस्ट तैयार करके दी जाए कि कौन कौन सी बीमारी वाले बच्चों को पहले प्रायोरिटी दी जाएगी जिनमें वैक्सीनेशन की शुरुआत होगी। क्योंकि ये कॉल जो है फाइनल कॉल एनटीआई को ही लेना है और एनटीआई कल जब बैठक कर रही है एक साथ मिल रही है तो मुमकिन है कि इम्यूनो कॉम्प्रोमाइज लोगों को लेके बूस्टर डोज को लेके भी और बच्चों में वैक्सीनेशन कैसे शुरू की जाए इन तमाम मुद्दों पे चर्चा हो। कल 11 बजे की बैठक की बात बताई गई है।
All right, Parimal Kumar reporting from the national capital. Not an easy decision for the technical advisory group to take because doctors, also experts globally, are divided over whether priority should be given to booster shots for a certain more vulnerable group, or should one focus on vaccinating everyone in India, especially making sure everybody is doubly vaccinated? So not an easy decision, but that meeting is going to take place tomorrow. We'll of course be monitoring it closely for you, our viewers. That is the news at this hour. Stay tuned to NDTV. We'll bring you constant updates.